Oh, oh. Okie dokie.
It's a small town jukebox, rock and roll. Yeah, like Coltrane playing when it hits your soul. Get the whole thing shaking when we hit the floor. Yeah, we're just getting started. Let's see where it goes. Harder than the summer. It's that old school drop top, won't let you down. It's that hush, hush, here it comes, talk of the town. Make your head stand up and your chin hit the ground. Get you all fired up, keep working it out. Harder than the summer. Harder than the summer. Feeling the heat. We got everybody burning at 100 degrees. Harder than the summer. You know what I mean.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Speedster's live chat. Thank you so much for joining me again. The live chat is a weekly deep dive, 45 minutes to 60 minutes, a deep dive into topics with personalities and experts in the cycling field. This is a show that is dedicated to help you train smarter and go faster. And I am your host, Louis Pang, a cycling coach here in Malaysia. And joining today with me is Izham and Lee Ming. And we are talking about the winning formula, the brains behind the medals that the Malaysian track cycling team has been racking up in the last 11 years. And Izham and Lee Ming, hi guys, good to have you. Good afternoon to you.
Hi everyone.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about your background. Maybe you can tell us how you got started working for the Malaysian Sports Institute, which both of you are from, and you are you're working closely with the track cycling. Maybe each of you can give us a quick walkthrough about your background. And Lee Ming, how about you start first? And I will also run through some pictures that you have sent to us so that the audience have a good sense of what you do. What does the supporting staff do? What you do in particular? How about that, Lee Ming?
Okay, sure. Okay, first of all, I love playing sports myself, and then after school, I decided to take up sports science in education in UTM, but I realized that I'm not really interested. Enjoy teaching, so I continued doing my master's in sports science in USM, and then after graduate, I started working in the National Sports Institute in July 2008. And then first assigned with other sports first, which is the racket sports such as badminton and squash. And then there was an opportunity to work with cycling after one of the exercise physiologists resigned. Before he resigned, I assisted with some cycling assessments and monitoring before that, and then find it quite interesting. So I agreed to take over the sports I think in 2010, which is exactly 10 years from now onwards, working with the cycling team. Yeah.
That's really exciting because badminton and squash are also Malaysia are very good at these two sports, obviously. Yeah. And it seems that everywhere you go, the medals follow in squash and badminton and now in cycling. Now, I have some slides here, Lee Ming, some pictures of you at work, and maybe I will show them on screen, and maybe you can walk us through what's happening here, all right?
All right.
Okay, so walk us through here, please.
This picture was taken, I think, 2019, early of the year. This was a camp bakat for cycling.
So it's a talent identification camp. Okay.
Yeah, I believe some of your riders is in there as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So what do you do here? Just so for the audience who doesn't know what's happening here, we see what bikes, but what's happening here?
We do some power profile tests, which includes 10 seconds sprinting, and then end up with 4 minutes all out. So if you can see, there's some bins over there.
Yeah.
So that's for them to
vomit.
to vomit.
Yeah. So it's interesting. You do 10 seconds sprint efforts, and then 4 minutes.
1 minute and 4. Yeah.
So you get a sense of what the athletes is capable of in terms of sprinting and in terms of their endurance, isn't it?
Endurance. Yes.
All
correct.
right. Cool. And let's go on. So you are on the scaffolding on the left-hand side of the screen. What's happening there?
So we call it a naughty box actually. So because most of the time when I'm filming, I'm sitting quite far away from the pit. Mm-hmm. So this is an example of what happened if I'm filming outdoors, and if I'm the indoors, then I'll be sitting near the spectators area where they have a designated performance analyst podium for us to film.
Okay.
So
this is an outdoor track, and you are on the scaffolding filming, isn't it? You're filming the race. You're getting footage of the event for video analysis. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, correct. Cool. And so this is what you mean. If you're in an indoor velodrome, this is what it would look like.
Yep.
So Malaysia obviously is not the only country that is doing video analysis and data collection.
Yeah.
So what are some of these countries here, if you can name them?
You can see Hong Kong, Russia. Definitely, we can see Great Britain, Netherlands, Australia. Plenty. Even Germany, Korea.
So everybody is doing it.
Yeah,
Okay. And then this picture here.
this is in
What?
Darabin in
Yeah.
Melbourne. So we, after each effort, we analyze the SRMs, and yeah, we have some lunch box sometimes. Me and John share together.
Okay. So because
Yeah.
you collect the training data from power meters, heart rate, cadence, and all that, and then you will obviously have to analyze and download those data for analysis, right?
Correct.
Archive them, plot them into charts, and all that. Very cool. Thank you very much, Lee Ming. And let's get to Izham. Izham, let me see. So Izham, I'm going to walk us through. Tell us a little bit how you got started. Why are you in this field?
Okay, thank you, Luis. Basically, it all started 2007 when I joined National Sport Institute after I graduated from National University of Malaysia, which is UKM. So my background basically is nutrition, which is sport nutrition is one of my main major during undergrad study when I involved a lot of doing research in terms of athlete and also performance. So starting from there, I was thinking that maybe I can further my career in sport application. So that's why I apply working with National Sport Institute of Malaysia, and then they accept me, which is which is until now, which is 2007.
Congratulations. So tell us a little bit, what does the Malaysian Sports Institute do? You know, for the audience, you know, not all of us have the who are training with the national team or in Bukit Jalil. What does ISN do?
Okay, ISN is under the Ministry of Youth and Sport, which is KBS. Is one of the agency that working mainly to provide sport science, sport medicine services, research, innovation, and also coaching education to the athlete, and also which is help to optimize athlete performance. So using this sport science application, which is including sport science, exercise physiology, strength and conditioning, psychology, all this application technology to help athlete to improve and optimize performance. So we have, for example, like Lee Ming, myself, working closely in the team as a team to provide services according to the performance plan that we structured every athlete and all sport. So that is our main goal, our main job as a sport scientist in National Sport Institute.
Okay,
So that is our main role. So we have a few as well. So education, doing research, things like that.
very cool. Now, again, I have some pictures here that if you can walk us through what's happening in these pictures, then it will provide great insight for our audience. What kind of? So talk us about this.
Okay, so this is on 2012 during the London Olympic road race. I think for my first working with the cycling program for the first cycle of the Olympic, which is the London 2012. So basically, we have two athletes during that time, Amir Mustafa and Adik Usaini, riding for Malaysia. It was very long day. I think during that time, Lee Ming also was there. With somebody. We both at the box hill where we have to provide feeding, which is feeding zone. Is where the zone that athlete allowed to athlete being supplied with food and drink or supplement like bar, gel, so that they can maintain their energy and fluid in the body. So during that time, it's very. I think I remember. It's crowd with a lot of people. I think we met a few Malaysian in during that time as well, supporting our rider.
Yes.
So very intense race where the box hill is the during the race is dominant by everyone predict during that time is Great Britain will be winning the gold medal in road race.
Yes.
Control the race all the time, but in the end, anything can happen in the
Yes.
race. We know better risk because this is something that you can't predict. So and then it's very tense in the last lap, which is we can see all the riders start to do the attacking at the box hill, things like that. So to break the peloton, so which is very interesting for me. So what we put in the feeding bag is food, drink, so to help the athlete to recover,
Yes.
and also to supply water and also food, which is consists of high carbohydrate
Yeah.
but easy to digest, like gel,
Yes.
some banana, things like that. So which is and I remember this is during fasting month. During that time I'm fasting, only limit. So it's very hard during that time. So I'm like almost breakfast. But I just hold, and then which is good. We support each other during that time.
Great. I remember reading about this race because obviously the Great Britain team, being the home team, the hosting country, wanted to win Tour de France and wanted to win the gold medal in the road as well to kind of like cap off a fantastic season.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, they won Tour de France that year. But the plan for Cavendish to win the road didn't pan out quite well. They have Cavendish and Wiggins at that time, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, like you say, in races, anything can happen. Let's move on to the next slide. Let me see here. What do we have? Okay. You're doing road training. What's happening here?
So Luis, for which is when I start working with cycling program, I will spend most of my time with the road program at early stage, and then I start to focus on the track program on 2009, which is during Beijing Olympic.
Yes.
So basically, this is which is after Beijing, which is 2010, 2011, where we have a camp in Chiang Mai, which is Chiang Mai. We have preparing for the team to SEA Games, which is in Jakarta during that time.
Cool.
So we have numbers of track endurance and track road program in the same camp, where we train almost 1 month, more than 1 month in Chiang Mai. So in the morning we go road, in the evening we have track. So it's a mixed training goal.
Sure.
So my role during this camp is as a team leader for the camp, helping to manage the camp and a part of lead the sports science team to provide service to the athlete.
Sure. Now,
You can see Lee Ming doing some
he's
Mechanic work.
okay. So Lee Ming, besides taking video, you can fix wheels and punctures as well. I can see that. All right, what's happening here? This is what, ACC or international race, right?
Yep. This is another example where we have team racing in National Cycling Championship (ACC), where it's one of the I consider major competition.
Yes.
Main point for Olympic qualification.
Yes.
Where we have we call it Continental Championship, where we have a lot of points. So it's involved junior and senior, which is interesting. So
Yes.
you can see there is a number of athletes participate in this competition. So it's a big challenges for me as a team leader to lead the team. Lucky I have a support staff like Lee Ming, Maswa, medical assistant, and also coaches, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
So
Junaidi here and Cikgu Suot on the right hand side, Junaidi on the left side. Would that be correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we have.
So what do you do as a team leader in an event like this? What do you do?
So every day we try to avoid everyday team meeting. So the key is communication. So the most important thing is that I always update. We always have one main meeting before the competition, so that I update all the information from the team manager meeting.
Yes.
Which is important for athlete and the coaches to understand what we can do, what we can't do, what things, the checklist before the competition. So the race gear, the race number, things like that. So basically, and then the timetable, which is, if you know track cycling, which is track sprint, and then when time is very crucial.
Yes.
So and, we need to start warm up, and then to ensure the flow in the pit smooth. We just highlight everyone responsibility and accountability, which is what you need to do. Avoid stress when you're in the pit, right, during the race. Is when it's too crowded, you increase the stress of athlete and even coaches, which is that's my role to ensure that everyone have the best surrounding support, which is doing the checklist, make sure that everyone aware what they need to do, and then to make sure that the competition running smoothly, the athlete running smoothly during the competition.
Sure. Now it's interesting that you say that when you have too many people at the pit, it get crowded and it gets stressful for athletes and the coaches. So what is your role there? I mean, on a race day during competition, tension is high on the athletes, pressure is huge on the coaches and the staff. So what do you do to kind of loosen everyone up? What do you do? What do you have any tips on this?
So I can give you an example when we have when in the final of Olympic Rio 2016, where everyone had, is in the Olympic, right? The intensity, the stress level is really high. So basically, we have a stakeholder coming, giving the support, things like that, which is good for us. But when it got too crowded in the pit, right, we want Azizul and the coaches, athlete to be focused on the competition, which is the routine, what we need to do next. So my role is I always ensure that the athlete have a space. So what I can do is that we already practice that before the Olympic. Like every competition, we practice our rule. We call it pit rule, where those who are not having competition, not allowed in the pit, things like that. Only athlete can sit in the pit. So the staff member have to find their own space. So things like that, like those who are not involved with the team have to sit at the grandstand or outside from the pit. That's some of the example that our practice in the team. So by the time when we do a few times, so it like a practice. In the end, it's like a routine. So everyone aware that the pit is only for the athlete to warm up, to rest, to drink, to recover.
Yeah. I can imagine. How do you manage that to your sponsors or stakeholders who may not be aware about this kind of rules? Right? How do you go in between that?
Yep, I think like I mentioned just now, before the competition, I always communicate with them saying that this is what will happen. So I go through what will happen first.
Okay.
So in the end, let them know that we always welcome them to support us. Like we need them to support. But the only thing is we need space for the athlete, especially. So what sometimes the sponsors still want to meet with the rider or to shake with the coaches, things like that. So I give. I slot them time after the competition, like for example, between a morning session, evening session. So in the evening, for example, in the afternoon. So I say after this heat, maybe we can chat and then meet the athlete, things like that. Like in between that heat.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Because it's obviously very difficult for coaches or athletes to kind of like, hey, I have to focus on the race, can we talk later? It's very difficult. So it's great that you provide that buffer and that communication in advance, managing the expectation before the big day. So that's great. So that is some of the examples that your role actually improve the performance of the team. How about you, Lee Ming? What do you do that makes the team even better? Can you walk us through a little bit, please?
So, as an exercise physiologist, what I do is I monitor the training by analyzing all the athletes' cycling power using SRM power meter, which measures power, speed, and cadence. At the same time, sometimes if needed, I conduct some fitness tests like camp bakat and something
Sure.
like that. Do some recovery strategies as well, such as ice baths, recovery boots, and everything.
Yes.
And making sure all the equipments are functioning well
Yes.
during training as well as competition, which is the most important thing.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. I've seen how while the training is going on in the field, you on the other hand on another corner of the velodrome are getting ready ice baths or getting the massage tables ready for the masseuse to come in. So you were doing all that for the athletes to be able to go from training into recovery. Or they don't need to think about anything. I think that itself is a big alleviation of stress. So the athletes don't need to worry about this or that. Their times are being maximized. That's really wonderful, Lee Ming. Now, so Izham and Lee Ming, just want to check with you guys. I can see that in every country. I mean, I've seen, been to ACC 2018, and I've also seen a lot of races on YouTube, international races on YouTube. Almost every country will have a full team of supporting staff, video analysis. You have the physiologist, you have the high performance coach, you have the coach, you have the masseuse. And I was told that even some countries have 2-person doing aerodynamics analysis for the team. Now, is it possible to be competitive today at Olympics level, at World Championship level, at Asian Championship level, without a makeup like this, without a big team like this? Is it possible to be successful? Izham, how about you go first? I would like to hear your take.
So if you're talking about performance advantage, right? Everyone like marginal gain concept. Like for us, we call it performance advantage. Every single piece of small thing can make huge difference. So as a team, which is we call it high performance team, like support staff, we work as a team. So everyone contribute ideas, support to increase athlete performance by even very small 0.011%, for example. So basically every critical element is crucial, especially training and competition. So to answer your question, if you looking at the Olympic gold medal, for example, right, the difference is very small. So it can make different by position 1, 2, 3, even close to 0.01 second, which is very small. Yes. So if you provide the full support for the athlete, so that it can contribute to that 0.01% performance gain, it can make a lot of difference in terms of the outcome. So for us, we focus on the process which is make sure that what athlete need during the competition have to be fulfilled. What athlete needs and what the performance needs during the competition is very crucial. So the master provide the best strategy for recovery. The exercise physiology provide the best information for the athlete to make the right decision. The performance analyst provide the best data that can help athlete to understand more on term of performance. Everyone play an important role during the competition.
Yes.
So if you ask me, yes, if you're looking at competitive in the world level, in World Championship, in Olympic, you have to provide the best service to the athletes so that they can perform the best shape during the competition.
Okay.
So in psychology, it also give a boost of psychology advantage. Just imagine if you have the team that provide the best support, and then the athlete just need to think what is the process to win during the race. Go through the plan, technical things like that will be helpful as well.
Yes, wonderful. Lee Ming, what's your take on this? Can people still, can a country win without this huge supporting staff in the world level? What's your take?
Yeah, I agree with Izham. Like, for example, if you look back from those countries with medals, they come from a very big team as great sports science and medical support staff. So we have a good sports science and medical support team, both in Melbourne and Kuala Lumpur as well. So we catch up almost every week, especially on Wednesday, which we call it as a management day.
Okay.
So we have meetings physically, like before the pandemic, and then during the pandemic we opt to Zoom meeting.
Yes.
So most of us we will discuss on what's happening or any updates of each each athletes.
Yes.
So to make sure that the athletes are in the best condition and perform with confidence, like Izham said, the most important is we want the athletes to be comfortable, feel good, and confident
Okay.
before they start racing.
So this meeting, is it just the staff or is it with the athletes as well?
The staff will meet with the athletes, and then basically it's the staff, but each staff will give some updates for each athletes.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Wonderful. Now, I'm just curious. This sounds wonderful for a team pursuing glory at international arena, at the World Championship level, at the Olympics level. But do you have any advice for small teams that does not have the budget to have multiple staff? I'm thinking about myself. Basically, I'm a one leg kick all. I'm a 4-5 in one. I'm the driver. I'm the coach. I'm the strength and conditioning person. I look into periodization. Have to look into aerodynamics. Have to look into power and analyze and all that. Any advice for small teams? How can we improve our support when we do not have the budget or the human resource to do so? Any creative ideas?
So, Luis, just to highlight things that we also consider small team at this stage where
I'm smaller than you.
yeah, it depends. Like if you compare when we go to the championship, we are those small team in terms of athlete that compete in the world championship. So we have a small space. So we can bring as many support staff we need, but in the end we just allowed to, because we have small space. So that's why we only bring some of the stuff. So basically, how we start in back 10 years ago, we have very small team. Travel with the athlete, support survey. We have a not limited budget. We call it a very small budget, which is how we adapt and then utilize the budget, what we have in terms of human resources, expertise, which is we do a multitasking job, like myself, for example, like when we go camp, I have to be the driver, I have to be the chef, I have to be this, I have to be that, things like that. So slowly we will create success, right? So then we can but in the end, multitasking is the key for the small group. Like we have to get somebody have same patient. Because if you ask those who want to do multitasking, the thing is hardworking and multitasking, which is sometimes when we have no budget to bring more staff, so Lee Ming have to travel alone with the team.
Yes.
So she have to do the nutrition work. She need to take the urine early in the morning, collect the hydration. So whenever Lee Ming can't travel with the athlete, I have to do the video running around, bring back the video, give the feedback, things like that. So I think that make us progress because we know the process, we know what needs, and then we understand each other.
Yes.
Because the teamwork is really important, and then we appreciate everyone in the team. Like I help you in terms of doing, like when Lee Ming in Melbourne, she just not doing as a physiologist, she doing everything. Like we can't afford to have team manager like me to be full time in Melbourne as well because it's expensive, right?
Yeah.
So that's
and
why
you have family commitments over here as well.
We have to do a lot of administrative work in the weekend. So Lee Ming, she's the one that hosts the meeting, make sure athlete happy.
Yes. Yes.
And then make sure they eat right, they sleep well, do all this everything. So similar situation but in different context. So basically, we have to manage whatever we resources that we have to achieve the goal, which is make
Yeah.
sure the process is keep going, even though we have no expert in terms of, for example, physiotherapists. We don't have physiotherapy, so we maybe instead of have full-time physiotherapy, we just doing part-time. At least we cover certain element and certain
True that.
aspect.
The key word that you mentioned just now is passion.
Yep.
Because when we are driven by passion,
Mm.
we get into a problem-solving mode. Rather
Yeah.
than, okay, this is not my job. I'm not an expert in this, so don't talk to me. You know, when you are in a team and the team has a problem,
Yep.
we solve the problem because we love the family, we love the team. Good
Yeah.
point there, Izham. Lee Ming, what's your take? You know, you have any tips for small teams with no budget, with very little budget, how to improve our care and
Just have to
level.
accept the challenge. Uh,
Stop
and then
complaining.
yeah, stop complaining, and then commitment is important. First thing is
Yes.
commitment, and then you have to adapt to situation, and then like you have to think of the team is like a second family. So once you think that they are a family, you do whatever it takes to help them, right?
Yes.
So because we spend a lot of time together, not just training, travel together and have our own recovery rights and everything. So it is all built. The team is actually built on trust, loyalty, and respect. So once if the athletes themselves respect the coaches, so they know what the coach can do, as well as staff. So basically we have a pretty good example of trying to do whatever we can for the team.
Yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
think for a lot of people, sometimes they think that, there's 3 athletes going to the World Championship, there's a staff of 6 person. For the uneducated people who are not in the industry, they may misconceive this like, oh, it's a paid holiday. But the truth is so far away from that, isn't it? We are busy arranging transport. Okay, right away after this event, we want the athlete to recover. Get a taxi home or somewhere back to the hotel, start the recovery, eat well. While the staff is still figuring out the itinerary for the next day. The race schedule is fluid. In track cycling, for example, one thing happens and then the next day it can be a very different kind of a schedule. So a lot of people may not understand the sacrifices you guys put in, and your families, and obviously you want to be close to home. But to do your job, it requires you to be away from your loved ones. I know that Izham, for instance, you have children, and obviously it must be not easy to, when they are so young, to leave them behind. I always see pictures from Hanizam, for example. He shares about his Hanizam is a coach for also another coach attached with the Olympic Malaysian Olympic track cycling team, and he posts pictures of his daughter, so beautiful, such a young child. It cannot be easy for any parent to leave their home and be away for 3 months, 2 months, that kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about Azizul. When Azizul won the World Championship in 2017, I would like to tell you guys to share with us where were you at that point and how did you feel? Now, before you give your answer, just give people a little bit of a background. Obviously, Azizul Awang, a Malaysian track cyclist, won his first World Championship medal in 2009. He has won a couple of them since then too, bronze medals, silver medals, but never the World Championship title until 2017. So let's go with Lee Ming. Can you tell us where were you when he won that, and how did you feel when that happened?
Unfortunately, during the 2017 World Championships, both of us weren't there. Wasn't in Hong Kong.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was really sad, but
That's the nearest
very
World
happy
Championship
for them.
ever.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened? Tell
Both
us.
of us, both of us, me and Izham, actually, we were attending a 2 months compulsory course. It is under KBS in Batu Gajah, Perak. So we
So
had to surrender our mobile phones
Oh,
in the morning, and then only allowed to get our phones back after the night session, which is quite late. So the race happened, if I'm not mistaken, it's around 8, I think,
at night,
in Malaysian
yes.
time. Yeah, at night. So I can't get any updates. So both of us were like very excited,
Excuse me, is
and
that a
yeah,
training camp or is it a concentration camp?
Culture camp.
Okay,
concentration
a
camp.
concentration camp. All right, carry on, please. Yeah.
So what I do is I had to sneak a laptop and volunteer myself to help with the slides, and then at the same time I tried to check on the updates from the TISWAT timing using the Wi-Fi, and then once Azizul started to race and I saw number one, and then I have to tell Izham from the he's at the back, and then I just said number one.
Oh,
Like that.
okay. So Itzham, how did you feel when you saw the number one finger being pointed to you? How did it feel?
There is a few moments I can remember exactly what happened, like during Olympic Rio, and then one is World Championship.
Yes.
I remember we have 2 months course, which is very stressful course camp. So we're not allowed to communicate. We only have allowed to use phone after midnight, things like that. So I remember that night, which is Lee Ming, she managed to sneak out laptop and internet, which is that's what her expertise, right? So I say, okay, monitor
Which one?
closely.
Which one? Excuse me. Which one? Sneaking out or stealing laptops?
You can talk to steal the Wi-Fi, things like that.
Okay,
which is-
good. Okay.
Basically, we attend most of the World Championship. I think like Lee Ming, myself, I think all the World Championship we attend, but this the only World Championship we not attend.
Oh.
So which is like maybe but yeah, after Lee Ming showed me the result, right? He said number one. So I said, okay, like that's the best feeling ever, because I knew during that time that Azizul won this so much. Like he and John really want this rainbow jersey to bring back to Malaysia,
Yep.
share with the Malaysia, which is I knew during that time he and John would be the most happy person in the world. So I feel happy with that. So and then after that, straight away I tried to download the result, and then I can see a huge gap.
Yes.
Which is he winning with the style.
Yes.
Which is like, I say this is something that really meaningful to us, especially for the team.
Yes.
And then once we got the phone after I think 10 to 11 p.m. in the night. So I text her, I text him, and then I say congratulations. Straight away he rang me, FaceTime. During that time, few times he tried to ring me. So but we stay very poor internet connection. So and then we managed to have a FaceTime for a while, and then he said, "This is for you and Lee Ming. This is for the team. We worked hard for almost 10 years, right, during that time. So this return for you guys work very hard." And then I think that's the moment where I say, I'm willing to extend my torture camp for another month.
Now that's obviously very classy and very classy of Azizul to ring you and to say thank you to both of you. Now, how does that make you feel as part of the team to get that phone call from Azizul and to hear him say what he said to you?
Yeah, I think this is something very special for us, especially the way we work is like family. That's what we be trained, and then we get used to that philosophy. Like if you have family, work as a friend like me and Lee Ming, even though we different gender for sure,
Yes.
we different religion, different, like I'm Muslim, she's Chinese, but we as a family we take care of each other. We have same patient, so we help each other, and then. Same with Azizul, the coaches, John, even Vicky, the Melbourne staff back in Melbourne. We work as a friend, as a family. So it's very special moment when, like, if you have a kid, like, have a good result in the exam, for sure you want the happiest man in the world. So
Yes.
it's similar feeling. Like we don't ask any reward,
Yes.
but the only thing is we see the outcome.
Yes.
If stick to the process, right? So that's
Yes.
that's what makes us really happy, because he do what he need to do, things
Yeah.
like that.
I remember that evening very vividly. I think I was in a chat group, and then someone shared that Azizul won the World Championship in Hong Kong. And at that time, 2017, I was just starting out as a cycling coach. I was a part-time coach with MSN Sabah. And I told you I had tears in my eyes, because, you know, to see a fellow Malaysian as a world champion in cycling just broke so many glass ceilings. Anything, any sort of mindset that, you know, this is not possible for us, this is not possible for me. What he did that night just broke those barriers, that all things are actually possible if we apply ourselves. And it's not to take away the hard work that you guys have done, and not to take away his talent, nothing like that. It is just an unbelievable feeling that night. I remember very vividly at that time. So yeah, so thank you, because you guys are definitely the inspiration, part of the inspiration of this story here. Now, in your final words, do you have any final words for cyclists or athletes who are dreaming to do well in the sports? Would like to hear from you, both of you. Maybe Lee Ming, you can go first. Any what would you say to your final words for people who are watching the show, who are aspiring to be successful in sports? Anything, Lee Ming?
First of all, I think everyone should have a quote or a motto to burn the desire to work what they want. So, for example, I like the quote, "If there's a will, there's always a way," which is also coincides with my school's motto. So, and always try to work hard to achieve change something which is impossible to possible. So you need to have a passion, flexibility, and adapt to what change and
Yes.
dedication. So yeah, that is the most important thing, to burn the desire to work,
Thank
to
you.
achieve something.
Good stuff, Lee Ming. And Izham, your final word.
Okay, like for us, right, in the team we have this like motto, where our vision is to inspire one nation to believe. So which is the thing is, we have few value that we think will be crucial to inspire people to believe that we can be a better athlete, we can be a better father, you can be a better coach, things like that. So which is my advice is to always have a set right value, chase your dream, which is whatever you dream is something that you always have to fight to ensure that your dream come true, which is you have to work hard. Like in sport especially, it's not easy job. Is when you want to compete in the Olympic, for example, you have to put your, not just 100, is more than 100, is 200, which is something that you have to put every day in the morning, reset your mindset every day that this is what I need to do, which is always challenge yourself, to be better, which is don't always feel comfort with what you already have. Always challenge yourself to be better and learn new things every day, because in our Malaysia culture, we always have a follower culture where we will just follow whatever people do. For the past 10 years ago, we just follow, okay, this is how we need to win the Olympic medal. But
Yeah.
I think it's about time we have to change that mindset, which is to lead. If you want to win a gold medal in the Olympic, if you want to be a better coach, you have to be a better sports scientist or better father or better family. You have to lead. You have to do something different, something. If you do the same thing ever and again, and expect a different result, you can't get it. It's insane. So that's why I say you have to do something different to chase your dream.
To do something different takes a lot of courage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because obviously there's no playbook that anybody on the team can follow how a Malaysian can win an Olympic gold medal. It has never been done before. There's nobody has been there. Okay, and this is how you do it. Step 1, 2, 3, 4. There's nobody has that formula, and what you guys shared today is that the family, the unity, the respect is perhaps the winning formula. It doesn't matter if you are trained as a video analyst or physiologist or not. When you have to do the job, you step in and do the job, right? So thank you very much for your time, Lee Ming and Izham. I want to acknowledge the viewers also. Thank you for tuning in. I have some messages coming in from Akila. Hey Akila, hello to you. Thank you for joining us. And I also have something from Lamlan. That's the key to a successful team. When everybody cares for each other, you achieve wonders. And thanks for sharing. And Lee Ming and also Izham, we really appreciate you taking time off on a Saturday that you could be with your family to spend it with us. And for the viewers, wherever you are tuning in, thank you very much for joining. And if you like what you see, consider subscribing to this channel. This is what we do. Deep dive interview every Saturday. And hit the bell button so that you'll be notified every time we have a new content coming up. And next week, we will have someone very interesting joining us. He claims that he makes the best cycling loop for triathletes. And I can't wait to unveil this guy who we will be talking to next Saturday. So Lee Ming and Izham, thank you again for your time.
Yeah.
It's great fun to have you. And to the viewers at home, train smart, go faster, I hope. Enjoy your cycling. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.